Good morning, dear students. I hope all are well at home. Now, today, the geography, the subject. You know already the second chapter, population. Population, several subchapters we already completed. So, composition of population, previous class we already some important matter we discussed, particularly what is composition of population, then related to sex ratio, age structure, literacy ratio, then occupational structure, rural and urban, then life expectancy, race, several factors which are related to composition of population. So, apart from first 3 points we already completed. What is sex ratio, what is age structure, what is literacy ratio. So, today we are going to discussing about occupational structures. Occupational structure, it is one of the important composition of population element. So, every person who is living on the earth, he or she definitely engaging one type of occupation, one or two secondary, anyway one type of occupation. The occupation, it is very important, particularly is food, shelter and whatever his basic needs he is getting from through the job, through the occupation. That is why occupation, it is very important. The world, several occupations are there. All occupations we are comes to under three groups we are make. So, particularly human occupations we are divided into three. So, one is that is primary occupation, then secondary occupation, the third one tertiary occupations. So, entire human occupation including quaternary occupation, that is secondary, entire human occupations, the major, the three occupations we are divided. Each occupation also which may be some responsibilities, some characteristics, some moments are there. So, primary occupations is nothing but agriculture, fishing, lumbering, forestry, which are related, mining, which are related to primary occupations. Secondary occupation, industries, mainly for manufacturing activities. Those are persons who are engaging in the manufacturing activities, those who are called secondary occupation comes to under. The third one as a tertiary occupations. Tertiary occupations, those who are engaged or engaging primary and secondary activities, those people need for serve, the serve filled by the tertiary activities. Suppose transportation, banking, insurance, defense, okay, education, health, engineer, doctors, advocates. So, these are all jobs, whatever we call builders, that all comes to under in the tertiary occupations. Totally, so which mainly occupation it is need for a person to survival on the earth, and also which may contributes the growth of economical development, should role most important role. So, whenever it may be primary, secondary and tertiary activities. The composition means the occupation, it is one of the important person as a demographic indicator related to whenever the occupational structures. The working population, those which occupation they may be engaging, may share maybe comes to under in the occupational structure. It is very neat, it is also very important. Next one, fifth, that is rural and urban. Every person who is living on the earth, the population composition need for as settlements, is need for settlements as a temporarily, permanently, the need for settlements. The settlements means the person who may be living, either the person is living comes to under in the rural or urban, rural and urban, both, any one place definitely the person may be live. So, such way we called, so the rural and urban, entire population of the world, the persons which are living, the people they are living in urban and rural, that is also very important. It is need. So, totally it also indicates the total world population majority 50.5% the people they are living in the urbans. Urbans means towns and cities and metropolitans and mega cities, these are all important, 50.5%. So these people also they are engaging for secondary and tertiary occupation, particularly for the urban people main occupations. Okay. Then 40.5% of the people they are living in the rural. Rural means villages. Villages are the main occupation, we already know, that is primary occupation, especially for agriculture. Agriculture is the basic occupation, particularly which may be related to the rural people. Today, the large amount of the increasing every day, every second also, the urban population, because rural maybe turns into urban through in the point of the urbanization. Urbanization is most important revolution in the world. That's why number of urban centers and towns may be increasing, number of villages may be decreasing. So India, it is also today's urbanization. Urbanization is a symbol of economical development growth. That's why India is a land of villages. More than 5,87,887 villages in India. So now it is a part. Each year also, each second also, it turns into urbanization. The number of cities and towns increasing. So when the number of towns and cities increasing, it may be indicate the growth of population. Definitely the pressure on the agricultural sector, it may be minimized. The farmers turns into technical works, industrial group and other educations, employing particularly banking, some other doctor, medical, including teachers like that. The selective occupation may be increasing. Almost the developed countries are almost the main occupation, particularly for secondary and tertiary. In the underdevelopment countries, particularly for related to rural, that is primary occupations. Come to the next one, that is the life expectancy. Life expectancy. What is the meaning of life expectancy? Life expectancy is nothing but as an average, a person, the living average lifespan, duration or period, we called in the name of the life expectancy. A person, how many years living, duration, so time, we called in the name of the life expectancy. Life expectancy is the most important for every person, because shortest to life expectation, it is a difficult to the country run economical development, because their services also very less. Apart from the world average, life expectancy according to UNA declared 68.09 years. 68.09 years as a world average life expectancy. Some more countries it is a more, some more countries is a less, depending upon the country what education and health may be provided, given by the country, government. So anyway, the world average is 68.09 years. It's a variations as differ from one country to another country, one continent to another country. Anyway, apart from here, the gender wise also it may be difference. So the male average population of the world, it is 66.09 years. Then female population life expectancy 70.24. So every time female life expectancy it is more. So male life expectancy is very less. So because of several reasons are there. Males it may be almost under pressure. So even the psychologically the proved the male always particularly physically as a physical strengthable person, the male is physically strong, the man always, but female it is always mentally strong. The personality depending upon mentally and physically. So every time also the mentally strongest which gender that comes to under particularly for the female. Physically the male is strong, but mental strong is very important. Mental strong, it may be role to increasing whenever for the life expectancy. Anyway, so this life expectancy also which are variations from one country to another country. So particularly developed countries, the life expectancy is more because education, healthcare facilities, so every time the take caring is much more. So underdevelopment countries, even today, whenever particularly for related to life expectancy is role, very less. So depending upon the very totally life expectancy nowadays it may be increasing because of very good drinking water, very good food supply, medical facilities. So including technology, whenever the improvement it may be leads to the life expectancy may be increasing. Which role most important role apart from the world? So life expectancy also it play an important role particularly for the economical development of a country, because a healthy person which given more contributions to the country economical development. Such a way life expectancy, world average 69.09, male world average 66.09 years, female average world, that is 70.24 years. So come to the point. So these are all come to another important racial. Racial also is very important apart from the composition of the population. I said already, so racial Negroid, Mongoloid, Australoid, Caucasoid, Proto-Australoid, Dravidic, several racial people they are living. Racial is nothing but as a physical structures. The appearance of the physical structure, the hairstyle, the color, the face, the lungs, the height, these are all according to the anthropology. The measuring particularly whenever leads to the racial. The world, whatever the 750 crore population will not the same type of face, same type of hair, not like, maybe not available because of the racial. The African people continent, the racial is a Negroid, is black in color. So in the red, particularly European people, Australian people, American people, Indians, especially for Asian people, then Mongoloid, China, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, these people the kind as a one type. So anyway, there are a lot of racial also it may be related. So in India it is not like that. Some other internationally they are because of looking appearance. So it may be like that, which race, which age group, which life expectancy, what life expectancy, and also that comes to the column in whatever get a job. Racial also comes to one important criteria to they will go into survival. Anyway, these are all the important points it may be related to, particularly for the composition of population. Many more points are there. These are all the important points it may be leads to whenever the according to the world. Yes. Now we are going to discussing about next, that is population aging. What is population aging? Population aging is nothing but increasing of old age population. How, why increasing of old age population? How increasing of old age population? What is the reason? So reason, it is nothing but when the person life expectancy may be increasing due to several technological improvements and development, medical facilities, drinking water, food supply, hygienic take caring, which helps to increasing of life expectancy. It leads to finally old age population life expectancy may be increases. It means the number of old age population may be increasing. So that is known as population aging. So population aging, sometimes it is a positive, sometimes it is a negative. What is positive? Positive is nothing but sometimes mainly negative. Negative, it is playing important role. What is the negative role of every country also? When the life expectancy increasing, automatically aged population may be increasing. When the aged population increasing, aged population, it is always dependable people. You can't expect it more. So they are almost depending upon particularly for the children's. It means, particularly for their children's, almost their second working population groups, they are dependable. At the same time, so which may be precious. Lot of problem, health caring also it is very difficult. Aged population has several health problems. It leads to treatment every week, every day, sometime every year. Lot of expenditure. Economically, as much more pressure in a family. In a family, more aged persons are there. It is a burden, especially for medical facilities take caring. So everything it may be more role. So that's why as some problems, particularly take caring is the main problem, especially for each family as a country. A country majority aged peoples are there, no. Aged means more than 60 years peoples are there, no. As an uneconomical condition, you can't expect it servicing. You can't expect it manufacturing activities, all other activities also. We can't involve these group people. That is very important. Such a way, at the same time, it may be negative. It may be negative, it's one. At the same time, aged population, it whenever increasing, so some countries act may be a benefit also. What is the benefit means positive? So positive means sometimes aged population maybe helps to particularly their youngers. There leads to through their experience. Aged people means experienced people. Experience means through their experience they given the suggestions to a family, to a country. So that's why you better to see all the countries, majority 90% of the countries, the president, prime minister, so cabinet ministers, so there's whatever particularly the ruling higher positions people almost aged people. Why they are post fixed particular reserve for that particular group? Because their experience are very good, their patience, their suggestions which may be ideal role on the juniors, on the citizens, particularly for the youngers. So through their experience, so but take any hospitals, a very old age, the doctor it may be available as an experienced surgeon, experienced doctor, which play an important role because many more surgical may be done. So at the same time, the person as a guided to juniors, such very important. In a college also, in a somewhere also, so experienced teachers are there now, it is the advantage. So advantage means more knowledge, more through the subject expert. So they guided to the students, they guided to the juniors to be supporting as a developing contribution is much more than compared to experienced people. So such a is a positive, that's a very important, and at the same time as well as to particularly for the patients. So as a guidance, and also in family also, any your family old age peoples are there now, through their experience they are guided particularly for whenever the emergency treatment, sometimes their experience to be shared, to be learned to juniors to be improve their knowledge, improve their health conditions to better way. Anyway, apart from the continent, Europe continents which may be more old age population today. So you going to see Europe continents as more aged people. That's why Europe continent has declared as particularly continent of old age populations. 80 to 90% of the people there comes to under in the old age in the European continent. So such a wherever you go, because the population as a old age population, it is more in the Europe continent. Come to the last one, there is a demographic dividend. Why the demographic dividend is nothing but it is characterized by particularly for fall of fertility rates, fall of birth rate in a country. So it is a 20 to 30 years durations may be filled. So when the fall of every time birth rate and infant mortality, ultimately the country may be suffered due to zero birth rate. So when the zero birth rate, it may be leads to old age group much more increasing, and the people as a younger groups may be much more increasing. Working population may be much more increasing due to the fall of birth rate. So at the same time, even particularly reduction of child and infant mortality rate and expansion of life expectancy also comes to another important role, because when the birth rate is rate, what are the living population life is may be much more better to bear is another important thing. At the same time, the world top 10 highly populated cities may be given in the table, particularly so country name, population. Shanghai city, China is nearly 1.7, is according to 2015 census, 1.7 crore population in Shanghai city in China. Istanbul as a Turkey, second place highly populated city, 1.3 crore. So Karachi, Pakistan, 1.2 crore. Then Mumbai in India, 1.2 crore. Beijing again China, 1.1 crore. Then come to the Moscow city in Russia, 1.1. Sao Paulo in Brazil, 1.1 crore. Then Gunga, China is a 1.1. Delhi in India, 1.1. Seoul in South Korea as a 1.0. Almost these top 10 cities, it may be crossed in a city, not a country, in a one-to-one particular city may be crossing more than 1 crore populations. So there's a highly mega and metropolitan cities to be led. Anyway, apart from here, then China, it may be apart from the three important top 10, the 3 times it may be registered cities, particularly Shanghai and Beijing and Gungan. And particularly India as a very important, particularly they related to Mumbai. Even Asian countries also, Karachi in Pakistan also, it may be leads to next to 11th and 12th. I don't know, Bangalore city is now it is crossing more than 1.2 crore. So Bangalore, even including many more cities, particularly Hyderabad, Chennai, in Bangalore, in India also more than 4 to 5 cities may be crossing more than 1 crore, because these are all the cities to be given. So India as the highest populated countries in apart from in Asia, then second place even today the next to China, apart from the next generations to be lead. So Asian countries which are played is most important role. Anyway, today we are all discussed lot of information may be collected. Population, lot of several composition of population, sex ratio, age structure, literacy ratio, occupational structure, rural and urban, life expectancy, racial. So what are the meaning? What the content, particular highest and lowest country situation and average in the world, how they are related in the composition, and even there what the occupational structure, what the rural and urban percentage, including life expectancy, what are the male, what are the female, what are the world average. So now it is much more as a difference. So these are all the things, what are the composition, it may be changes from one year to one time to another time. It is not permanent statistical informations. It may goes on to changing from one time to another time because of the economical development. And including population age and increasing structure also sometime more positive. Some countries, how much they are using old age population in your country, that may be, you can use the positively, use the negative. So it may be what are the positive, negative, the country position, how they are particularly utilize the availability of the old age population, that may be related. So at the same time, demographic dividend, it is almost to the plus point. So when these are all sometimes as a more birth rate may be decreasing, it is another important fault may be created, leads to life expectancy may be increasing. So no zero birth rate means the living population life expectancy more increasing. It may be affect on the future because old age population much more increasing. It is second term as a second group's working population may be increasing. Such a time it is another important problem as a dependable people more increasing. Then even is more than 57 cities may becomes. Apart from all the cities also, it may be leads to more than 1 crore means lot of problem in the cities. There no lot of overpopulated problems should be faced. Anyway, which are all secondary point. Anyway, today we are discuss lot of matter to be related in our composition of population. Dear students, these are all things. Next class we are going to human development index, the concept, the poverty lines, the richness, these are all going to discuss. Today it is enough to explanation. So these are all the ultimate, the past to last thing. So thank you dear students. We will meet in the next class.